Hey everyone, how you doing today? My name's Kirsty, aka Beth Bookish, and yes, it's a little bit late, but it's finally here. My reading journal setup for 2025. If you're new to the channel, this is a video I do every year where we talk through my setups and we go through what spreads I'm using, and this year some old staples are leaving, some are returning, and we've got some new stuff. But first of all, the candle. Every year I pick a candle. This time it is Liua from Genshin Impact, which is inspired by Chinese scents such as amber, orange and musk. And this is actually a sneak preview that you're getting of how my products are changing next year, because I will be upgrading my packaging to this sleek black tin from 2025. So you're actually getting a bit of a sneak preview. Lucky you guys. As for my journal, another newbie, we have this one from Archer and Olive. It is a square journal. I've been wanting a square journal for at least 3 years now, and I finally have one thanks to the amazing partner that I have who bought me this for Christmas and let me have it early so I could set it all up. This is a part of the Archer and Olive Halloween collection. It was a limited edition. It's got this gorgeous raven and book on the cover, perfect for a reading journal, and I have been having the best time using it so far. Now, in previous years, you may recall, I think the last 3 years in a row, my reading journal has been a very specific colour scheme of black, white, silver and gold, and I've gone with that kind of clean look. I will say it's a bit different this year. I kind of had a cottagecore moment earlier in the year, and as a result, I decided to go with this green witch foresty setup. So yeah, we're trying something new. I think it's come out fantastically. I can't wait to share it with you. I will also say that the way the lighting is here, you can see here there's some sort of like the trees are moving and the shadows of the trees, but honestly I feel it kind of adds to the effect of the journal with it being a forest witch, green witch theme. But here we go. First of all, we have our cover page. This is probably one of my absolute favourites. We have this page right here. You can see I've written in that it is my reading journal. I ordered from Journal Away. I will link her YouTube and her shop below, but I ordered this absolutely stunning print from her, and I immediately knew that that had to be my kind of cover page for this year. And then I decided to make it an actual feature of the journal. So that is like the main cover, and then I did add in the little thank you tag that came with the order. I added that as a bit of decor, as well as the washi tapes that came with it. And then I just did this little tag with Reading Journal 2025 and a sticker from one of these books. I have the Cottagecore and Boho Dream sticker books, and honestly they have come in handy so much. So yeah, some of the washi tapes I borrowed from Ren, like this one. Others are my own, like this one that I can't remember where I got them from. But if I do, it will all be linked in the description. Moving on, again, I've done things differently. In previous years, the next spread would be my books read. This year, I am kickstarting with my goals. And you can see here, I have my reading goals. It's going to be blurred out because I'm going to do a separate video talking through these. But you can see, again, I've got these really cute stickers with reading and with these books. And again, I have this like little sticker saying you could totally do this as a reminder, because I totally can. And then on the other page, this is where I'll be doing my monthly stats. But for one example, I've got things like 2025 releases. So every month I will just track how many of each I'm doing. It should help me track my goals a little bit easier. But again, we've got this really cute washi tape, and I've made a lot of these titles where I've just ripped up pieces of paper and then written in them. The washi tape in the background, this is by Crafty Planning Shop, who honestly, I think she's going to probably feature in most of my spreads next year, because I just love her shop and her products so much. So that is that page. Moving on, we then have my Book of the Year bracket, which again, I normally use a little bit further on in my journal. But this year I decided to get into it quite early. So as always, I don't like to do it in order of the year. I like to mix up my months and have a bit of fun with it. So we have all of the monthly pairings. We will then face off, so January and June, will face off, as will February and November, and then whoever wins will face off against each other. Once we get to 3, these 3 here, I will be doing like this one with this one, this one with this one, and then this one and this one, which is why we then have another 3, and then I will choose between those 3 to be my overall book of the year for next year. Moving on, we then have my novels and manga. As you know, this year I did separate stats. I went with 50 novels and 100 manga and graphic novels, so 150 things in total. I have hit both of those goals at this point of recording. I'm so happy. I didn't think it was going to happen, but it did. And so next year I've decided to keep with that sort of 150 number. So I've separated it and made it even. I've gone with 75 novels and 75 manga. So you can see we have 75 boxes. And as always, I have a little date of completion. I really love how this came together. I love how the layering came out. I liked how the different textures and the different backgrounds, it just gives off this really, like, as I said, this real foresty, witchy, green witch kind of vibe, and I am so happy with all of it. And then we have the manga read. So again, we have these boxes. I could not be bothered to use a ruler. I freehanded them, not gonna lie, but it turned out pretty good. I think I only made one major error, so I'm proud of that. And then this is probably one of my favourite stickers, not gonna lie. I love it. It's so beautiful. And again, date of completion. This is now where I move on to the actual books read shelves. This is always one of my favourites to do every single year. I always have a great time in creating them and filling them in, and this year is no different. I'm very, very happy with how they've come out. So first of all, for our novels, I was inspired by Mandy Journals for this one, and I will link her below. And so I came up with this really cute style of window with a little bit of snow. It was supposed to be stars, but it came out looking more like snow, so I went around with it. And then I've just used some washi tape just as a little bit of decoration. I didn't want to go overboard. I like to keep my shelves quite clean, and I like to keep them quite simplistic. I don't want to overclutter them, but I did want to add something. And then I thought it would be fun to add in this little ladder. Kind of annoyed here where I miscalculated the gap, but whatever, it's all good and I really like it. And I have done 100 books on the shelves rather than 75 to allow myself for any extras that I may read, because that is something I did this year. I've gone over the amount of spaces and I was like, oh, yeah. And then I have gone back to the last 2 years. I've color coded my shelves with ebook, audiobook and physical read. This year I'm going back to the 5-star system, so we have a colour for each star rating, so at a glance I can see what ratings I've given my reads. And then for the manga shelves, there is no extra decoration here because the picture that I've drawn I am so happy with and it just looks so nice. Ta-da! I drew this! I didn't even like use a reference. I mean, you can kind of tell with the lamp and the rest of it, but that chair I'm so happy with. Look at it, it looks so happy. It looks like a little froggy. It fits so well. It looks so cozy and I kind of want that for myself. I don't think I did 100 on this one. I think I went with 80 or 90. I can't remember how many I did, but you know, again, it's over the 75, so I can have a look at those. And yeah, like I said, I didn't feel it needed any extra embellishment because I love how it came out. And I'm really, really, really happy with that. Next up, I wasn't sure if I was going to continue doing this spread, but I did decide to in the end. And this is the reading tracker. So basically every month I will keep a note of what days I read, and then it will get inserted here. So by the end of the year, I should have a pretty good looking spread where I can see how many days I have read. And then this year I forgot to do it, but next year I have got a box here where it's total days that I've read, so I can see exactly how many days I read for. I would like to read every single day. I know it's not going to happen, but it'll be nice to see just how much I do read throughout the year. And we have our 5-star Hall of Fame. Because it's a slightly bigger journal, I was able to add more boxes, and I'm also going to make the book covers a little bit smaller because this year I did read more 5 stars than I had space to promote. So basically I have these little boxes that I've created with green and brown borders. So these are going to be the main frames. I've then added these from Crafty Planning Shop. Just again, absolutely beautiful. I love them. and a little bit of washi tape mixed in with that. I will then print out the covers of all the books I give 5 stars and put them in here, and if there's any gaps at the end of the year, I will either draw or cover them, or I'll find something to do with them. Next we have, I think this might be Ren's favourite page. It's one of mine, even if it did give me a nightmare, and for a while I did not enjoy it. But this is going to be my quotes page. So what I did is I created like this scrapbook kind of background where I've layered multiple different sheets of paper in these styles, and then I went through my stickers and other bits of paper that I had that have got these little boxes that are just big enough for small quotes, and then I've got a couple of larger ones like this one for any bigger quotes. And now that it's finished and I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, okay, it is actually really pretty, and I really do love how it's come out. But obviously when I was doing it, I was like, I don't know about this. But now that it's done, I'm like, okay, this is actually really pretty, and I love all the little flecks and details. And I imagine once it's filled in with all the quotes, it's going to look really lovely. Next up is going to be my indie reads tracker. It's definitely something that I wanted to do more of this year. I didn't quite read as much as I thought I would, so I am continuing that goal on next year. When I wrote the title, I originally wrote indie reads, but there was such a big gap, I just decided to improvise, so we ended up with independent reads. And because this is going to just basically be like a showcase, I didn't want to add any extra details on the main page. That's why, other than this border here, and then a little bit at the bottom with this sort of shiny tape that I've got with stars. Other than those, I didn't add any extra embellishments, and if I do, that'll come at the end of the year. But from my indie reads, we then have my most anticipated reads. Again, I'm kind of keeping this page a little bit blank in the middle so that I can just add in the books, but as I do with every year, I print out the covers. I haven't yet printed them, but I will soon. But I like to print out the covers of the books that I'm most excited for, and if you check out my Bookmas video that will be coming after this, there will be a 2025 releases that I am excited for, so eventually some of those will end up in here, but one I can absolutely tell you I am extremely excited for September, because Espiritu, which is the Cemetery Boys book 2, is coming out, and I am so excited. It's just going to be such a good year for releases next year, and it's one of the biggest years that I've ever had for anticipation. So this is going to be pretty full, and then I'll also have my 5-star stickers underneath so that when I've read them I can see what I rated them and see if my anticipation pays off. Then I will admit, I thought I'd finished. I then saw that I'd forgotten to fill this in, and I now cannot be bothered to go back and do it, so I will do this later on. But this is a spread that was in my journal, disappeared, but is now back, and this is my pre-order spread. I didn't think I was going to need it anymore. I discovered this year that actually I do prefer to have it, and it just helps me keep track of what pre-orders I've got and when they're coming out. A new spread to my journal this year, and linking to a goal that I have, is my ARC shelf. Again, I'm keeping this spread very simple, so the focus is on the books, but this is also quite normally the bookshelf where books come to die, and I want to revive them a little bit this year. Currently on my NetGalley, I'm at about 51–52%. I really want to get that up, and so I've gone through all of my NetGalley books. I do have more than this, but these are just the novels that I have on my NetGalley shelves that I have not yet gotten to. And it's not just NetGalley, there's 1 or 2 on here that are just personal ones that I've got that I need to get to. But you can see I've got quite a few. I have been neglecting my ARC reading, and I feel bad about that, so I have put a ban on myself. I'm not allowed to request anything now until I've cleared at least 10 from these shelves. Preferably more, but 10 is like my minimum. Then we have my irregular, which is my series tracker, but again, I've done things a little bit differently. Normally both, like all of my series would be in this table format, but as you can see, I've got the ones that I'm either like up to date with, or ones that aren't really the super priority for me. I have those in this table. And then I wanted to put a real focus on the series that I own all of the books to, or I know I will own by the end of next year, and so they have to be read. So we have my priority series. So you can see I've got Wicked Fox, Sorcery of Thorns. We've got Cemetery Boys, because that will be coming out next year. Legendborn, the final book, is out next year. And then we've also got things like Midnight's Twins by Holly Race and Brightfall by Ashley Herring Blake, where I already own the books. So there's no reason for me to have not gotten to them. And I'm kind of mad at myself that it's taken so long. And again, I just did one of those sort of ripping up the page and writing out the title along with this really super cute sticker that I'm probably going to have to glue down, but I love the details and it's so cute. And as you know, as well as novels, I do also track my manga, and again, I've gone with a very similar format. I've kept with what I did last year, where it was like my priority series. You will notice there is one series that you probably never thought would ever appear in my manga tracker, but I've decided I'm going for it. I'm going to see if I can. So One Piece is now on there. But we have My Hero Academia that's now complete. We have Black Butler. We have a few that I started this year and want to continue. A few that I've had from previous years that I haven't continued this year. And then a few that are just ones that are ongoing. So those are like my priority, would love to get to. And then where I don't normally, I have done an extra page for the manga. So like my series tracker for my novels, I've done this table with the series that I would like to get to, but they're not the main priority and I'm not desperate to get to them. And then I've ticked off the ones that are complete, so I know that they are ones that I can just get finished. And then a new addition is a graphic novels tracker, because I now have a few series of graphic novels. We have Fence by C.S. Pacat, Once and Future by Kieran Gillen, Let's Play, I cannot remember the author name, and Covenant by Lysandra Vong. I really want to continue all of those too. And there's plenty of space for any extras that I start. Then we come into my yearly challenges, because as you know, every year I do various challenges. I will be doing a separate video going into these in way more detail. But the first one we have was inspired by Ellie from Earl Grey Books, and that is 5 years, 5 books. She recently did a video where she has chosen one book from the past 5 years, so 2024, 2023, 2022, 2021 and 2020, that are sat on her shelves that she needs to get to. I've decided to do the same thing, so I have the spread ready to go and the book covers are going to go here with like the year that they're from. I'm not going to tell you what I've chosen. I will be doing a separate video going into this, so again, please keep your eyes peeled for that. And all of these stickers and washi tapes here were from Crafty Planning Shop. And then we also have the Our Fantasy Bingo. This year is the first year that I've taken part in it. I have been having a good time. You can see I've completed a few and I have done more of them in the hard mode than I have the easy mode. So I'm very proud of myself for that. But I am also aware we only have until April to finish this. So I am slightly stressing about finishing it. But I haven't yet added in my September to December reads, which I will do very soon. Then we have what is possibly the spread that gave me the biggest headache, but also is my biggest pride. And that is another challenge that I'm doing, which is the Author Backlog Challenge. The reason this was my biggest nightmare is because for some strange reason, I worked on this for ages before realising I'd put it in the back of the journal. So I had to very carefully cut the pages out, stick them in the front, and then there were just like constant errors. But we got there in the end, and I'm so proud with how this has ended up looking. Again, it's one where I've layered different washi tapes and papers as the background. I then had these sort of pieces here and these little embellishments with the books that Ren's mum very kindly gifted me. So I cut all those out and added those, and then finally I created these little envelopes. You can see I've chosen two of my all-time favourite authors, V.E. Schwab and Nalini Singh. For V.E. Schwab, I have got 18 books that I need to read, and I will have officially completed her backlog. I have not included any sort of where she's done a short story for a collection or anything like that. I've only focused on the actual novels and series that each author has written, because certainly with Nalini Singh, she has written for so many short story collections that I would be here for a year. But you can see I have like the archived series, I've never even heard of this series, so I was like, that's a fun one to look up. We've got her middle grade, The City of City of Ghosts, you know, all of the ones that I haven't yet gotten to. And then I've written down a little list of the ones that I have completed. So I've done all of the Dark Shades of Magic series, the Villain series, and Addie LaRue. And then for Nalini Singh, again, I've got 20 that I need to do. But with how quickly I get through her books, I'm pretty happy with my odds here. And you can see she's got a few standalones, and I've read 22 books in the Sight Changeling series, 14 of the Guild Hunters, and I've also read the standalone Quiet in Her Bones. So yeah, I would love to complete at least one of their backlogs by the end of next year, or be as complete as I can. And then you may remember from earlier this year, I created my own buzzword bingo, and all I've done here is I have just done this little page. I've done a bit of a cutout and done a bit of a key, what's it called? I can never remember. And done one of these like little door moments. I did this edging. I really love this. I basically tore one of the washi tapes in half and used that on top of some craft paper. And I think it's created this really lovely effect and a really lovely border going down the page. I then used some stamps that Ren had to do the buzzword and the bingo. And yeah, I just really love how this page looks. We've got green are buzzwords that I love. Amber, well, yellow are ones that I either love or hate. It depends. And then red are the ones that I actively try to avoid. And then I just did like a little funny, like, will I win at the game of buzz, or will the words win against me? Only the bingo gods know. And then the idea here is that I can just log the books as I complete them onto this back page. And you can see this is my bingo board. Either pause to have a look or go watch the full length video that I posted a few months ago, where I go into way more detail on what the prompts are. Then we have one that I have directly stolen from Ren, which is the TBR kind of takedown. I have too many books on my Kindle and too many books on my physical shelves. I want to get that number down. I also want to be more conscious about how much I'm spending and how many things I'm buying next year. So these spreads will allow me to do that. Basically at the end of 2024, which I realise I won't be home for another month. So I will, as soon as I land in England, I will count my books, and that will be like my end of 2024 total. And I'll add in obviously the ones that I've got here in Australia. But my end of 2024 total will go here. Then throughout the months I will fill these in. So books I've read, how many I bought, unhauled, and then how many like total I'm at. And then at the end of the year, I will have a total for 2025, and then I'll be able to either celebrate that I've got minus numbers or commiserate the fact that I've increased my TBR. We shall see how that goes. But, you know, I'm just going to try and stay away from Stuff Your Kindle days, because that is, I think, where a lot of us trip up. And, I mean, it's free books. Who doesn't get excited about free books? Come on. And then the final spread that I'm doing in this year's setup is another new one, and that is my year of vlogs spread. This year I've had a really lovely time, and it's the first year that I've really done themed vlog projects, such as my cottagecore vlog. I did my 30 in 30 manga reading challenge vlog. I did a thick thighs vlog. I did a phase and gaze vlog. I've really enjoyed doing these vlogs where it's like a specific theme or readathon that I'm following. And so next year I've decided I would like to aim to do every month at least one themed vlog, and then I will either take a screenshot from the vlog or do the thumbnail or something, and I'm just gonna write down what the vlog was and what I did, so at the end of next year I can be so proud of myself for trying out different vlogs and playing around and doing new things. And again, it's these stickers from Crafty Planning Shop that I'm using, along with various washi tapes. And then you can see I've got my January spreads ready to go that I've started to pencil in, and I will get started on very soon. So that is my reading journal setup for 2025. As I do this flip through, let me know in the comments what your favourite spreads are and what you think of the new theme. Do you like how I've switched it up? Are you enjoying this kind of green witch vibe? I certainly am. I'm very excited. I didn't know how much I was going to love it until I looked at it this morning when it was finished. But yeah, I am very excited for 2025. I'm always excited with a brand new journal ready to go. I'm also a little bit nervous because, oh my god, am I actually going to fill it this year? Or am I going to keep on track? I have decided I'm going to do away with the journal style, so I won't be writing about every book I read like I tried to do this year and failed abysmally. Instead, I'm just going to talk about my highlights of the year and just go back to doing sort of my regular books I read this month and more sort of stats-based spreads, so I can flick through those. But yeah, let me know what your favourite spread is, and if you think there's any that I've missed or that you would like to see, please do let me know. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Please do check out everybody that I've credited throughout this video, and check out everyone that will be in the links. As I said, with supplies and stuff, any that I can remember I will link those below as well. But in the meantime, I hope you're all good, I hope you're staying safe, I hope your own journals are going as well as they can be, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!